Right now, for this conversation that I've been waiting for, international gospel artist Israel Houghton, a new breed, will once again return to South Africa to lead the celebration of 3 decades of worship music. 30 years of worship music festival takes place on September 28th in Pretoria. Founder Maqhawe Khathide joins me now to chat more. Great to have you on the show.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me.
So 30 is a big number for us because obviously speaks to democracy. Now 30 years of worship. It's a huge amount of music and worship that's happened in the last 30 years. Talk us through this particular event that's coming up in a few weeks' time.
So we sat down with Radio Pulpit's chairman, Hemi Diamonds, and we said, you know what can we do as the Christian community to be part of the wider 30 years of celebration that's happening in the country of democracy and freedom. So we came up with the concept of 30 years of worship because we believe that without worship, worship is a cornerstone of our country. I mean, pre-1994, the church, led by my father, Pastor Ribatika, got together and did a national day of prayer, dedicating the country to God so that we don't get into civil wars and stuff like that. So this is us coming together and saying, for a moment, let's pause and say, thank you, Abba Father, for the turnout that our country, the trajectory that we followed instead of the bad side of things.
So lots happened in 30 years, legends have come and gone. But walk us through some of those individuals. I mean, we are going to talk about Israel Houghton, but let's talk about some of the highlights for you over the last 30 years as far as worship and gospel is concerned.
So the transition has been immense. We started with pre-democracy. We started with the heavy African hymnals, and then we got influenced by international artists, and then we moved to this new age Pentecostal drum rock vibe. So it's been a journey. But the nice thing about 30 years of worship, we have Dr. Ribatika, who also celebrates 30 years of being in the gospel industry.
Oh, wow.
She's got 36 or 37 albums. So she's part of that journey. And at Sunbet Arena, we have, Dr. Ribatika, we have Soli Mahlangu, we have Soweto Spiritual Singers. But Soweto Spiritual Singers brings the vibey African drum, the chants. And then in Cape Town, we have, I always say, it's a kapse.
Yeah.
A kapse atmosphere, the vibe, the music, the colors, and that community has got a relationship with music that you don't necessarily find in Joburg. So yeah, for everyone, we've got everything. So yeah, man, get your ticket from Ticket Pro, Spa, Gem Clothing, and Power Fashion House, and just be
a part of this 30-year celebration.
Yeah.
Now, Israel Houghton, a new breed, obviously has a relationship with South Africa. Talk to us about that relationship and the significance of him headlining this event.
Oh, no. Israel Houghton is a brother. As a matter of fact, we're organizing him a passport because he must, he's such part of the South African culture. You are Alpha and Omega. You go to every church, everywhere. He's taken that song, the South African song, and he transformed it into the world stage. So when we invited him, he said, yeah, no hesitation, I'm coming home. So we're quite excited to have him. But, all in all, the whole lineup is just an amalgamation of energy, artistry, and we're just saying to people, come join us for a night of artistry, of fellowship, but most importantly, let's all join together, one in song.
Now let's talk about the impact of not just this festival, but the impact of some of the artists. I mean, you talk about Dr. Ribatika Malope on the continent. Just how big is that influence?
So South Africa plays a significant role in the language, the cultural language in Africa, and we think Dr. Ribatika is big in South Africa. Let go to Benin, to all these other countries. We think Pastor Soli is is big in South Africa. No, man. Go outside of the country. Those guys are big. And the thing is, we as South Africans have defined a culture of gospel music that is distinctly African, and exporting that to the African continent and to the world. The Soweto Spiritual Singers, they are an internationally acclaimed group, and they're part of 30 years of worship.
So what are some of the major collaborations that are occurring in the gospel space with other artists that are beyond the borders?
So 30 years of worship is tailor-made for this year. We can't have 31 years of worship. I mean, ideally I would love to, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. But we are looking at saying to the community, next year we want to grow big. So we're talking to guys in Zim, Mozambique and Lesotho to see how we can take this musical product into the different markets. I know that Israel is planning to do a few shows after 30 years of worship.
Yeah.
But we even say to our fellow African brothers, come through to South Africa for a great 2 nights in Pretoria and Cape Town, the 28th of September and the 29th of September.
Fantastic. Appreciate you coming on to the show. Maqhawe, Khathide, celebrating 30 years of worship over 2 nights, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thanks for your time.